the bottom left, we have our Zerg player. It is Sziky.
In the top right, we have our Protoss player. It is Dragon. And here's the thing, though, that I find about this map, right? Megan. As I blank. No, I'm just kidding. This is a terrible map for Protoss early game. The early game's absolutely a nightmare on this map for Protoss. Because the natural is just so hard to hold. And if Zerg plays aggressively, you know, 9 pool speed, for example, was the go-to build on this map. Remember when Mondragon used to just run by naturals? Like, he did some overpool speed build, just ran past every cannon ever made. And here's it, like, Protoss has to be so careful in taking their natural, and at the same time, it's easy for Zerg to deny scouting if they go with an aggressive build. Now, Sziky doesn't look like he's going to do that. He's just going to go for a gasless build here. But what I'm trying to get at is, if Protoss gets into the mid game, if Protoss ever gets into like that 3-base situation, has a big ball in the middle of the map, then I think this map turns heavily into Protoss favor, because you know, Protoss can just so easily split the map, and Zerg doesn't have that many bases to take.
Yeah, unless you're somebody like Larva, who's just the king of split map scenarios, it's going to be very hard for Zerg. Now, what we haven't even talked about at all is we've been talking about how Zerg is a nightmare on here, but you know, Protoss does have options to go for like proxy 2 gates. Like, Zerg also has to put up with a bunch of shenanigans here. We see that's not the case this time because Dragon's just going for a Forge expand. And as you mentioned, the natural is so wide open. It is crazy. We'll see how Sziky wants to abuse this map, if he even is going to try and abuse this map. As he pointed out, the statistics, I think, are a bit of a farce. I would really like to see 973 on this map to see just how insanely strong it is, how many cannons Protoss has to actually build, and if even being able to build all those cannons even makes a difference. Also, you have to remember that if you go for 973, you can just sit on the high ground, and then you have to just funnel through that small choke. Like, this map is crazy. We can see that 2 cannons are being built, and Lings are already here. Pro buying time at the front, going to allow that cannon to get up.
Yeah, that was, you can see Dragon's prepared on this map where he delays the Lings just enough. But again, like, as opposed to most maps, on most maps, I feel like Dragon in this situation, he can actually get 1 cannon up and then the gate. But because it's Blue Storm, because the natural is so wide open, you actually need 2 cannons to kind of stop any kind of run by. Because if he only had that 1 cannon plus the gate, yeah, maybe the Lings can't go on the right side, but they can kind of go on this left side where Sziky is, and he might have been able to get into the base. So it's just so tricky on this map to open. But it looks like the cybernetics core is actually going to be, I mean, it's going to be on time. You know, can't really say this is a fast core because that is 2 cannons.
But this is what I was waiting to see, is if the cannon even ranges the mineral line, and it doesn't. Dragon has to be so careful. Like, I don't think the cannon ranges the bottom side either.
Yeah, and
are you
now?
Okay.
I mean, he has to wait for the Zealot to mine almost. This is such a disaster.
Are you waiting for real? A Ling is just sitting there at the top side, like, yeah, I can just deny half of this mining. This is why people veto Blue Storm. Oh, look at that. Pops out that Ling.
Well, it could have been worse. I mean, it looks like Dragon only lost 1 probe, but the damage was done from just preventing actual saturation to get going. Like, you know, Dragon probably didn't transfer as many probes as he wanted to. And obviously he was just mining with a couple, and then losing the probe was huge there. So definitely Sziky. I mean, look, he's already even in supply. This early into the build, you kind of don't expect that. And Sziky just mining, you know, he has so many drones already. This 3rd base from him is interesting, but I don't think it's going to be too abusable. At the same time, Dragon is going for a Corsair build, so if he goes into Sarah Zealot with a strong mid-game timing here, he might be able to pressure that base.
Well, as we stated before, this map is extremely small. You can get across the map quite quickly with a Zealot, so it's not like Zerg can just power to infinity, like on a map like Polypoid. You can see the Zealot's already at the natural, and Zeke was not expecting that. Goodbye, drone. That's probably going to be 2 drones. Well, you got to attack, man. Why is the Zealot just running around? He gets a 2nd drone. The drill is nice, but he's losing a drone every single time. He may even get a 3rd drone here. Gets 3 drones, and I think that the Zealot at the top left ended up getting cleaned up, but it also traded quite well versus the Lings, most likely.
Yeah, and
another one snuck out.
Dragon did some decent damage here, so... But still, you can see Protoss is having a hard time just pulling away in supply. And again, at this stage of the game, that's a hard pill to swallow. But now the Corsair is out, so he's going to be able to gauge the Spire timing. And actually, Dragon's Zealot movements is really putting him back into this game, buying him so much time, preventing so much mining from the Zerg player. And this is exactly what happens sometimes when you play too economically.
Oh my gosh, Zealot's going to get into the natural, and this isn't something I considered. You know, all of the Protoss players have that slick Zealot movement to behind the mineral line, and it buys so much time, and it's so impactful on the econ of Zerg that this map, you're seeing it unfold here. Just simple Zealot move-outs are really disrupting the mining time from the Zerg, whether they get drone kills or not. This is a lot of damage done by Dragon. I mean, he's gotten 5 drone kills now.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, these Zealots are doing a massive amount of work to just bring back Dragon into 6. Wow, he's gonna kill another Zealot. I mean, another drone. Look at this mineral line at the natural. There's literally 6 drones mining there, so... yeah, so... Definitely not the best situation. At the same time, behind this, Protoss is getting their infrastructure up and running, but you can see, I mean, Dragon, his build, it's not that far along. You know, the one thing I'm kind of noticing here is that his 2nd gate, like, he never had a 2nd gate, so his Zealot count is going to be quite low, and that means that when speed finishes, he's not going to have that big of a pressure. So despite the fact that these Zealots have done a good job at kind of stagnating the Zerg's economy, I don't think Dragon's follow-up is going to be that strong, and I wonder if that's just him kind of with the build order not being as precise as he could be, or if it's still kind of a side effect from that early harassment that Sziky was able to put onto his natural.
Yeah, it could have been that small pressure, and I actually would have liked to see him cut a lot and just put down a 2nd gate and then go for a really quick pressure build, because as we've mentioned, Blue Storm's such a small map, and after all that damage he's done, if he had followed up with something like 6 Zealots here, he may have just moved across and won the game. But as I say that, there are mass Sunkens being built. However, all of the Overlords are just getting eviscerated by the Sayers, and he is going to be deep, deep, deep in the red.
Yeah, Dragon's playing beautifully. Dragon's PvZ is really amazing to watch. It's probably his best matchup. I mean, he plays Zerg versus Protoss, right? So you would expect him to have a good grasp of this. And he, you know, in North America especially, like, most of the really good players are Zerg. So, you know, he definitely has, and on his team NAS, you know, you have Zergs like Jeyun, Striker, but also like Eon Zerg to practice with. And so, you know, I mean, Dragon's just always on top of this, and we saw it last week when he was playing versus True Touch, just putting on a clinic, and we'll have to see. I mean, he's definitely in the driver's seat in this game. We'll have to see if he can write it out, but like, as I was saying, getting into this mid-game here, this map suddenly becomes so much more manageable for Protoss, especially if you have Corsairs. You know, the one drawback to having a really big army in the middle of the map, like Protoss would like to have against Zerg, are drops. And drops on this map can be huge, but with the Corsairs out, he can deny that, and you can see he's aware of just how important these Corsairs are. He's still making them. I mean, he has like 8 Corsairs. He's still making Corsairs.
And Zeke knows that this guy was building Sayers the whole time. Like, he just saw Sayers come in and kill 5 Overlords, and he was like, you know what I need? I need Mutalisk versus this. I'm so confused at this tech switch. But he's got a lot of Scourge behind it, and he's gonna try and catch all of these Sayers, but this count is crazy. And I don't know if +1 weapon kicked in from the cybernetics, but you know, he does have +1, so it's just gonna balance out the armor upgrade. That is so many Sayers, but that is so many Scourge. However, with cannon support, this should be picked or pushed back.
Well, Ziki is doing some nice micro here because he's actually picking off a couple of probes, but I mean, who cares?
This?
Look, Dragon's just A-moving. I don't think this army is big enough, though, to threaten any of these bases. Like, Sunkens are really strong.
Yeah, well, but Archon can range the Sunkens. I think this is strong enough to push through because, well, you can see that I think he could range if he gets the Archon right tucked next to that Hydra Den.
Well, in any case, I mean, this is definitely slowing down the Zerg because Zerg has to make more creep colonies at both bases. And that was a good trade for Dragon, obviously. Losing one Corsair for a bunch of Scourge is going to be good. But here's the thing. I mean, this is kind of like the same situation in Terran vs. Zerg where we were talking about, you know, Danny versus Avilov. Avilov has to build all these Sunkens at all the bases, but this is the same thing here. Sziky has to build Sunkens everywhere. He has to start making units. Hydralisks, and behind his Dragon is just taking a third base, so slowly kind of expanding his lead here. But these Mulisks, oh my god, this is going to be good for Sziky, but actually not enough Scourge there, and the Mulisks do get pushed back, and Dragon's just going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and he has that Archon. However, it is there. It is. It is able to get on top of that Sunken, and there's just so many Zealots comboed with the Archon. The Archon is plowing through all those drones. Look at him focus fire them down. Goodbye, drones. And this is probably gonna just be game over. Oh, well, that's a lot of Hydras in the back.
Yeah, Sziky has a lot of units coming in from his third base, but the damage is done. I mean, so many drones went down, and he's gonna kill this hatchery, so that's actually sick from Dragon. He does lose all his units though, and so you can see that the supplies do get reset. These Corsairs are still generating some value, but Sziky has a lot of leftover Overlords, not gonna get supply blocked this time around. And that was huge amounts of damage there for the Protoss player. I mean, without that natural hatchery, Sziky's mining is going to start stagnating here. And behind his Dragon, you can see he already established all his gates. He has his third base, and he has Templars with Storm, most likely. So I think he's going to be fine against the counterattack.
Well, he is fine for now. What I'm mostly worried about for Dragon is I didn't see a robotics anywhere. And we see that Sziky has a ton of gas. And Blue Storm, I know that lurkers on high ground are a menace to deal with, so Sziky might be able to recover by going for a lurker setup, whether it's going to be a defensive or an offensive attack with the lurkers. Either one is going to be very strong. Now the Corsairs are going to get intercepted. It looks like one more went down, so this Corsair count that was approaching about 10 all of a sudden is down to simply just 3. There's a robotic, so it's going to be a decent timing, even if lurkers are morphing right now.
Yeah, and well, it looks like this game is going to just stabilize a bit here for both players, but I mean, Dragon's push is going to be coming relatively soon here, and you can, okay, another Corsair does get picked off, but at this point, Corsairs have kind of already fulfilled their function. Now, Sziky, he might, you know, the one thing he might think about doing here is going for a drop, because he killed all the Corsairs. Like, it's going to be really hard for Protoss to stop a drop coming into his main from the 12 o'clock. But besides that, I don't think Sziky's even going to do that. He's just going to try and get into a macro game. You can see, actually, that Zerg has kind of evened out the supply, despite losing the natural there. And Sziky does have a 4th base coming up as well. He has 7 hatcheries up and running, so definitely macroing really well. But look, there's nothing that's going to be stopping Dragon from getting on top of the Zerg's high ground.
He didn't cancel it. That was a full kill under that Nexus, and I did notice a lot of gas being used from Sziky, and we can see where it has gone. It's gone into the Mutalisks. They have not shown themselves just yet, and the Sair count, as you mentioned, has dwindled down, so this natural might be on the brink of getting breached. As I say that, there goes that cannon. Now the Mutalisks just sit over the ledge, and he's getting so many probe kills. However, Protoss is already out in the map. There's the first observer. He needs to send it with his army, though. Mutas are going to engage on top of these goons also, but not going to be able to kill anything. Meanwhile, all the Hydras did get knocked down at bottom right.
Sziky is playing beautifully, though, to kind of reestablish himself into this game. This Mutalisk switch is causing Dragon a lot of headaches, but it has been dealt with, and I don't think he lost too many probes there. He did lose a lot of mining time out of the natural, but the most important part is just preserving your worker count. And while this has happened, like you pointed out earlier, then, you know, Dragon did kill that group of Hydralisks, and now he's expanding to his 4th base. So definitely dealing well with this, but still not mining at his natural.
Yeah, that's going to be another denial onto the Nat. Cancel the cannon. 1 Sarah going to try and save the day versus 11 Mutas. That's not going to happen, obviously. Meanwhile, Dragon hasn't really made a move with his army just yet. Now both of the Saras are going to get picked off. And this game is slowly slipping away from Dragon, but look at how big that army is. +2 armor kicked in also, so that's going to nullify a lot of the damage from the Hydras.
Oh, I like how Dragon is maneuvering this. There's actually a ramp at the north side here to this high ground, so he's gonna avoid those lurkers. But look at that, there's actually a whole group. Okay, he does have that group hotkey finally. I wonder if he's gonna go straight to this 12 o'clock or to this top left base. I feel like it's better for Protoss to just take the high ground first. Yeah, okay, exactly what he's gonna do. And Sziky realizes he's out of position, so he's just gonna go for a counter.
Yeah, this game's about to get messy. Dragon really doesn't have that much stuff to defend, but he has a huge attack coming in to the 3rd base and the natural. You can see that all the Zealots ended up getting wiped out at the 3rd base. Templars, they need to storm, but they don't have any energy just yet.
Those Templars getting picked off is huge there for Sziky, so his counterattack is actually going to be very threatening, but there's still cannons here for Protoss, and that's not too many Zerg units. I think like Dragon will be able to deal with that with the gateway reinforcements, but this massive army of Protoss at the front of Zerg's main, the problem is all the Zealots just went down, traded absolutely poorly against the Zerg units. There's still a massive amount of Dragoon Templar, and that's actually not too much defense at Zerg's natural.
Oh my gosh, Dragon is getting picked apart, so he's kind of all in with just this standing army, but I don't see how Zerg stops it. It's 2 Sunkens in a dream, a bunch of lurkers potentially in the back, but look how many goons there are, and I only saw a single storm, so he's going to have millions of storm left over, but with muta support, maybe he will be able to close this game out. Supplies are now in favor of Sziky. Oh, there's so much storm in the back, but does Dragon notice that there are Templar up there?
These lurkers are getting spread out as well. Sziky's playing beautifully here. Storms are not effective at all, and it looks like Zerg's going to have enough to, with the reinforcements coming back from the attack, he's going to have enough to just destroy the Protoss army, but more Zealots coming in as well. The storms are on point. Dragon completely decimating the Zerg forces, and suddenly the supply did drop for Zerg, and this is a lot of leftover Protoss units, and the main base is going to be jeopardized.
Yeah, and that's not enough Scourge to take down all of the observers. There's only one left. Now it is just barely going to survive. No, it does fall, but another storm blankets those lurkers, and that is going to wipe off one of them. More Zealots coming through the middle of the map, but you can see no 3rd base anymore for Dragon, no 4th base even, so he's really committed on this, but he may have just barely snowballed it enough. Another storm hits both of the lurkers.
Oh my god, that storm was the money storm. That storm probably won Dragon the game right there, because I mean, Sziky just doesn't have any more units. With those lurkers, he might have been able to hold because there are no observers from the Protoss side. Dragon, of course, he's only on 1 base, mined out his main base. His natural still has a couple of minerals, but I think he's investing all his minerals into just rallying Zealots into this attack rather than picking a base, and so he has to kill Zerg here.
Yeah, here comes another squad of Hydras. They pick off a Templar for free, but look at the supply. It's 95 to 45. I think Dragon has done it. Sunkens are scrambling to get up at the main. Meanwhile, Dragon's main is mined out. Sure, his natural should have a lot of resources simply because the Mutalisk dealt so much damage. That's a great storm at the bottleneck right there. Oh, Dragon, he's pushing through, but that leaves these goons kind of isolated versus these Hydras. The drone drill is fantastic, manages to save that sunken colony, but now the main has been breached. Everything's falling left and right.
Yeah, bro, I mean, Dragon has done it. Oh, that's a lot of lurkers that just spawned, though. But the thing is that Sziky lost all the drones there, and now Sziky only has top left mining, whereas Dragon has a bunch of probes at his natural, and he's taking his 3rd behind this finally. So when all is said and done, Protoss definitely has done the damage that they needed to do. You can see in the supply here, almost, over doubling the Zerg supply. So definitely Dragon, I can't see a way that Protoss loses this game. There's just too much mining on the Protoss side.
Yeah, there's just too much. And the Goon finishes off that Lurker. More Lings are coming through the back, but it's just not enough. The Storm goes down, doesn't get much damage done. But once Sziky sees that this third base is up, he's going to tap out. He may think that it's closer than it actually is. But we see that it is tripling the supply. The lair falls, pool falls, fire falls.
This was such a crazy game. Sziky does get a lurker in here.
Oh, he's gonna kill all the probes! Holy moly! Too bad it doesn't matter.
Oh my god! Even Zero's losing it, guys. But yeah, that was a sick lurker spine, but it doesn't matter. GG.
So in the blue in the bottom right, our Bulgarian Zerg player, it is Sziky.
Hungarian, man.
Oh, Hungarian. Whoops, my bad. Hungarian.
I mean, bottom left, it is Dragon.
As I was saying it, I was like, he's not from Bulgaria.
Well, the flags are really similar, but they are slightly different order, the colors. But then again, like, if you really think about it, how many countries have red, white, and blue as their colors? If you think about it.
Oh, I don't know.
A lot.
A lot, yeah, a ton.
A lot. Yeah, I don't know.
US,
That's
U.S., Chile. You know, there's a lot of flags.
well, France,
that are red, white, blue.
UK,
yeah, France, of course. Yeah, Russia.
Russia. Exactly. So
There, quite a bit.
if aliens came down to Earth and saw all these flags, they'd be like, "What the crap is this? Crazy humans."
What we do.
No. This is not the country you're thinking about. It's in this different order.
Maybe, I have no idea.
Dude, if you had a flag, if you had to design your own country's flag, what would it be?
I have no idea what I would design it. Well, I mean, you must have an idea if you're
Oh,
asking
yeah.
me this question.
No.
No.
I mean,
I don't have one.
I'm trying to think of the clowniest thing I can say. It would be like a bear.
A bear? Why?
I'd use an animal. Yeah, how come we don't, like, our flags, like, most flags, they just have these, like, random coats, and, like, they're just also these random colors. Why can't we have, like, Game of Thrones flags? Like, you know, like, the Canadian flag should just be, like, a bear. A big bear that just destroys people, and, like, you know, we're, like, the bear men, or women. We're the bear people.
Well,
And then the U.S. could have, like, this eagle, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Europeans can all have like the same one,
the same
which is
one.
like a cat,
Okay.
like a house cat.
A house cat.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Well,
the EU flag.
You know,
I'm sure I'm
this-
triggering a bunch of Europeans. Just
Yeah, I'm
on
waiting
the-
for chat. I'm waiting to see chat in 3 minutes from now to see their reaction. But we do have a Forge expand from Dragon. And, you know, we've seen this in ASL a couple times, and I was wondering if any of the foreigners were going to start copying this this Forge opener instead of going for the Gateway opener that we see so often these days. Now we finally see Dragon opting for it. Meanwhile, Nexus is going down. It looks like Sziky only built 2 Lings, is that correct?
I don't know. I'm thinking about flags.
Yeah, you're thinking about the flag. You know, the states of the U.S. have their own flags, and
Yes.
actually the state of California, I'm pretty sure, has a bear on it. So maybe that's your flag right there.
Ew. I'm not a Californian. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna. Third base here from Sziky. Only 2 Lings, so like you said, it's very standard. That's the thing with Sziky. You know he's gonna play like this. He always plays like this. And which is why it was surprising to me to see him go 9-pull against Tim. Like I told Tim, you know, just go 12 Nexus. This guy plays standard and he plays very few Lings. He just wants to get his drones out. But I guess Sziky just felt so confident against someone like Tim that he decided to play kind of his off-brand style, which I totally understand, and it's probably the best thing a really strong player could do against kind of a less favored player. But just generally speaking, I mean, this is Sziky's go-to, you know, and I'm not surprised that Dragon went for that Forge expand, but I feel like if he had just thrown in that 12 Nexus in this game, I mean, that would have been incredible.
Yeah, well, in that game that you're talking about between Tim and Zeke, Zeke probably saw the VOD of Artosis versus Tim, where Tim pulled out that proxy 2-gate and went like 3-gate DT.
Yeah,
and he was like, yeah, nah, we're not even going to mess around with this guy. We're just going to go for the 9.
Zeke went through Artosis' VODs to study for his game against him.
Well, we have a fast Citadel from Dragon. This might be as fast as you can possibly get it because it's already halfway done. And it's only the 430 mark. And this is going to be, well, what's the usage for this? Because it's still 1 gate and he still only has 1 zealot. So we just have speed zealots we just have speed on 3 zealots and go for it?
Well, we saw...
and he's mining gas at his natural. What is this build, man?
I mean, we saw Jayun do this. Well, he had a Stargate coming with this, but I do agree this is very weird from Dragon. You would expect the Templar Archives to go down right away. There we go. It's a bit delayed. I think he just forgot. Honestly, I feel like he just forgot to put down the Templar Archive, so that's kind of unfortunate there because the strength behind a build like this is getting the Templar Archives really fast, and then you can get DTs out on the map before there could ever be any Overlord speed or anything like that. So unfortunately, it does delay it a bit. The Spire is going to be very close to completion as a result.
I think I know what this is. Is this going to be the Zealot Archon timing? Because when he gets the 2nd gate up, he'll be able to produce 2 Templars at once, or 4 Templars at once. There it is. There's going to be 4 gates. So this might be the as many Zealots as you can possibly build before the Templar Archon, or before these gates finish, and then double Archon follow-up. However, Mutalisks are already going to be out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. These mutas are way too fast, and they're going to have a field day here. I think Dragon... I mean, these mutas are so fast. Generally, the DTs come out at this time, which I think he does have 2 DTs. Cute. Yeah, there you go. We'll have to see if he actually brings them back and morphs them into Dark Archon. You know, Dark Archons... I saw this thread on Reddit or something. I don't even know why I read the or Reddit, but it was like, does anyone have VODs or streams of Dark Archons? And I'm like, well, imagine these newbies just being like, I really want to make Dark Archons in this matchup. Well, Dark Archons are useful in one situation, and that's when generally you skip Stargate as Protoss, which is what Dragon has done.
Look at this DT timing. Right when mutas get into the natural, they move into the 3rd base, and Zeke doesn't realize. Look at that kill count ramping up.
Yeah, well, Zeke also got a couple of probes. That's what's sick about this DT timing from Protoss is they come so early. They actually come at a time where Zerg is generally droning up. So this was actually a good build here from Dragon because this DT pulled all the Mutalisks back. I wonder if this is what Protoss is expecting in this specific situation when doing the build. Like, yeah, Zerg's going Mutalisks, but I know I can keep him in the base with the DTs.
That's not what I was expecting. Like, sure, I understand the Dark Archon for the mutas, but this is going to be a minute for this Archon to get that energy for Maelstrom. And, like, if he was to go right now, even with, like, what, 4 Zealots, a DT, and 2 Archons, really, there's not much for Zeke. You can see he's still powering. So I think, there's the 2nd Archon. So he's going to have Maelstrom comboed with 2 Archons. Probably going to wait for one more cycle of Zealots and then go for it. You can see that +1 has already kicked in. And this is what I was wondering is, does Zeke realize that, wow, that DT was very fast. Your only option here is to go for some type of Zealot Archon push. It looks like he's read the scenario correctly because he's building Sunkens at both of his bases. DT is going to move into position again. Going to be denied.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Sziky knows exactly what's up when he sees those double gates at the Nat with the Archon. He knows that there's going to be a big push coming. Dark Archon finally gets revealed. That's not a lot of Mutalisks, though. 5 mutas.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now we'll have to see if he can actually get out of his base.
Well, the balls. He can, and he has Maelstrom.
Dragon's got big balls, man. He's got to put them
through.
He
does. Now, if you look at, the Dark Archon, what is it doing? Okay, I thought it was just out in no man's land by itself. Now, the mutas, they might get caught right now. Okay, they've got to run away very quickly. Dark Archon, so dangerous. But Hydra's, okay, now Hydra's have come out. And that's what I was wondering is if Dragon missed his window going for this Maelstrom. And it looks like the answer is potentially he might have.
Well, the natural's definitely no-go. This is too good of a SimCity, but the third base could be up for grabs, but it looks like Dragon already, I looked at his, yeah, he's going to take a base here instead, so, you know, not going to do any damage, but is going to try and secure this third base. Sziky knows exactly what's up. I mean, what could Protoss possibly be doing with this map initiative other than expanding behind it? Nexus doesn't, it didn't get canceled.
He didn't cancel it again. Blue Storm he didn't cancel. Now this time he didn't cancel it either. And it wasn't even like that was a lot of units. It was 5 mutas and 2 lings.
And I mean, he's only on 4 gate.
Yeah, well now he just built more gateways.
So yeah, Protoss is dead, man. Zerg's about to get 6 hatchery Hydralisks going. Protoss has no gateways, no third base. I mean, finally the 5th and 6th gateways do get up, but 6 gate against 6 hatch. I don't know if the math checks out on that one.
Well, I think Protoss is still in an okay position. Remember, he's had a lot of gas this entire time. Oh no, he only has 2 on gas in his main. So he's got Templars out, and it's not like he's gas starved yet either. Look, those are 6 Templars right there. However, he does need to fix the main gas. He does need to get 3 gas running on that. Oh man, it's so painful.
The thing is, like, Zerg can just come down attacking from the high ground. It's so hard.
Grouped up so easily. Oh, did he use his Maelstrom? He doesn't have the energy now.
I mean,
did we miss it?
I'm guessing. Yeah, I think he. There's no Mutalisk sound on the map. The Dark Archon. The Storm's gonna be nuts. Like, he has so many Templar. The Storms are blanketing everything, and Sziky is just gonna get completely demolished here.
Oh my god, those might have been the best storms I've seen in BSL.
Holy
and
guacamole.
I was kind of expecting something like that. Not that deadly of a storm, but like in Shikuris, you can really funnel up on those stairs, and he just ate all of the storms. Now, Lurkers are already out, and because Protoss heavily invested in this Templar Archive, that means his robotics is most likely going to be very late. So when he sees these Lurkers, he may have to run quite quickly. Instead, he's going to engage, and he's going to lose an Archon, potentially 2 Archons. Storm not available. Okay, there we go. There's 1. He needs to Maelstrom the Lurker. So can he Maelstrom it? He gets all 3 of them, and now they are going to have vision, but he needs to pounce on it instantly.
That's so weird. Did he Maelstrom them as they were burrowing or something?
Yeah. But you know, Maelstrom does not have a long window, and he's not able to pop the remaining 2. So the 2 Lurkers are just going to be annoying sitting there. Oh, they're going to reposition outside of that. Look at the defense. It's 1 cannon.
This is really good for...
Oh my god. Luckily,
it?
the 2nd Lurker is not there.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, this is really good for Protoss. He actually... Ooh, okay, again. Every time...
Got him.
Every time I'm about to say it, there's more probes that are potentially going to their death there. But, yeah, look, I mean, Protoss got a 3rd base going and got sick trades onto the Zerg, and now Sziky's making a bunch of drones, so Sziky realizes there's nothing he can do about... You know, I do like this from Sziky, though. He realizes he can't stop this 3rd base from Protoss, so he's just going to make a bunch of drones, get his Queen's Nest and 2nd Evo going, and transition to late game.
He doesn't cast the Storm. Luckily, the Hydra or the Observer pops out, but I don't know how he can fight this army. There's 2 Lurkers with Hydra support versus pure Zealot almost. He's just going to run into the meat grinder. Now he gets on top of the Lurker, but they've already taken so much damage that those Zealots are already down. Oh my god, what, half health now?
They took a lot of damage, but the important part is that, well, I mean, that is a lot of damage. They are going to regen their shields, though, which is definitely nothing to scoff at. Looking at Sziky's economy, though, did take that 4th base and totally droned it up. So really, Sziky managing his economy really well. He's going to be able to contest this 3rd base income from Protoss, and with the Hive coming soon enough, that's going to be really nice for him. Dragon at this point is going to have to think about taking a 4th base himself. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that timing window in before Defilers are out. Yeah, this core isn't spinning either, and we haven't seen a single Dragoon made.
Jeez, yeah, like is he for real? He's seen Lurkers for like a minute or 2 now, and he's like, you know what? Zealot. I don't know about this choice. Well,
Yeah,
that
well-
is a lot of... Well, I mean, when you get engages like that, it doesn't matter if there's lurkers or not. I mean, they have to be burrowed to deal damage. Now, top right is very exposed, but of course, Dragon doesn't know about that. But that is like 7 lurkers being morphed, and I don't know how he's ever going to actually fight Zerg. And Zerg's going to Hive already.
Yeah, I think we gotta all settle into our seats or strap ourselves or whatever. I don't know what that sounded all terrible, but we're in for a long game here because just from how Dragon is playing, it looks like he just doesn't want to go for a bust. He wants to split this map. He wants to get into late game situation, and that's gonna be really hard against someone like Sziky, who's just kind of a macro god. And in general, PvZ is incredibly hard in these late game situations on a map like Shakuros, where Zerg can just continuously expand and there's so much space to cover. But hey, looks like Dragon is gonna try and there's no lurkers though at the natural.
There. Well, I mean, lurkers coming in through the back is going to deny Dragon from pushing through. Another Templar might fall, and it has double Storm available. That would hurt quite a bit. Luckily, those Hydras don't focus it down. Meanwhile, Dragon has his 4th base going up, so it's going to be 4 base Protoss versus 4 base Zerg. Again, Dragon Rush +2 armor, so it's going to nullify that +2 weapon for the Hydras, well, decently. But Hive is already done.
And also, I mean, the Carapace upgrade from Sziky is not the fastest ever, so that's definitely good for Dragon as well, because that means he can maintain the weapons advantage, and so even the transition into cracklings later is not going to be as oppressive because the Zealots will be able to deal with it. But here comes an engagement. The Storms are on top of the Observers, but he actually splits them up. That was pretty sick. One Obs goes down, but look at the Zerg army just get completely evaporated. We were talking about how he's not making any Dragoons, but all of a sudden he has like a whole control group of Dragoons with a bunch of Storm. Kills off so many Zerg units, but somehow the supply is still even, and more Zerg coming in. Sziky's macro is out of control. Dragon is going to lose this army despite the fact that the early engagement looked so good for him.
Yeah, he got jebaited there. He thought that that was all that Zerg had left, and instead, Zerg came in with a control group of Hydras from the back, Lings from the top, and he just overwhelmed that army. There's the 1-1 upgrades for the Lings and the Carapace. And now Dragon is stuck simply with, you know, just, 8 gate and 1-2 upgrades. And Zerg's going to have that huge power spike of the Hive upgrades. And now all he has left is, like a single control group of Zealots, just a couple Storms. And all of these Templars are going to get picked off.
Yeah, Templar are going to go down. I mean, this economy from Zerg is just massive, massive, massive. The thing is, I mean, Protoss can definitely play a late game situation against Zerg, but you really have to be like a macro god as Protoss to manage against this kind of economy from Zerg. So, and it looks like Dragon just never had that, you know, with that attack, you want to be almost, in this situation, you would have want to been like maybe 160 supply almost, 170 supply, not like the 130 supply you see in the mid game.
So I'm going to jump on these cannons. Luckily, there's 7 of them, so that's a lot, but the DPS is just way too high. Lurkers moving into position on the high ground, too. More than likely, this is going to be the killing blow, because the 4th base is going to fall, and that's going to put Dragon down to simply 1 base mining with that 3rd base. Meanwhile, Sziky has the entire right side of the map, and there's no way for Dragon to really get out, and there it is. He just taps out, so that's going to be 1-1. In at the top right, again, our blue Zerg player, it is Sziky.
And in the bottom left, the red Protoss, it is Dragon.
I actually can't believe he picked this map, because I know Dragon plays all the maps, because when I played BSL, afterwards, I just looked at his match history just to see, like, I was curious, did he actually play any of these new maps, or kind of off-the-wall maps? And he had played like so many games versus Terror. Like, it was crazy. He had played so many games on all the maps. So I'm very shocked that he decides, like, okay, well, I'm just going to pick Eclipse here.
Well, what were you thinking?
I thought for sure he was going to pick something like Power Bond or, well, maybe not Tower Cross because that's a bit weird, but Power Bond I think would have been a good choice.
Yeah, Powerbond is a very good map too. I feel like for Protoss versus Zerg, and he had a sick game last week versus True Touch. So, but Eclipse as well. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not too surprised seeing this map. The only problem is that I do feel like it plays to Sziky's strengths as well. You know, this is definitely a map that Sziky would want to play and feels comfortable playing. And again, Sziky is kind of just... I mean, we've seen it time and time again, man. He is a very passive player. So, you know, when you give him like a standard map to play, I feel like that's his zone.
Yeah, and with it being in the ladder pool, obviously he has a ton of practice on here. Also, you know, Polypoid was up. That could have been a pick, but it is what it is. Now, back on the other side of the map.
I definitely prefer Eclipse to Polypoid.
Oh, you do?
Well, for Dragon, yeah. I mean, we saw what happened on Shakuras there. And Shakuras, I mean, Shakuras is a much better map for Zerg than Polypoid is. But, okay, this drone micro is impeccable. He's actually getting a lot of hits off onto the probe, but at the same time, this hatchery is delayed, 400 minerals, and decided to make... Oh, he's not even putting it down.
Yeah, okay. He does get it down now. Now he's got links popping out at the same time. Meanwhile, that was a gateway expand from Dragon. We are confirming that. And the drone, I'm assuming spotted it. I didn't actually see if it did or not. Meanwhile, probe is still alive, but the drone getting hits onto the probe is, you know, not inconsequential. It has taken a little bit of damage. It's going to, have one less hit of survivability now that it has gone down into 14 out of 20 health. Meanwhile, Dragon has decided that he does not need a forge, and he loses his probe. And this is devastating because now Zeke can do whatever he wants.
And Dragon actually made a third Zealot here, which to me is surprising. This is an overpool. I feel like he would have just... Isn't it just better here for... I feel like it's better to just put down your Nexus on 20, pull up, cut probes, put down the Forge to make sure the wall is small, and then you start making Zealots. But this third Zealot, I mean, what's it gonna do? He's blocking his ramp too, but this isn't like a 9 pool. Like, I feel like what Dragon is... Yeah... No, this is gonna be... Actually, Sziky didn't even target the Nexus. He maybe could have done that, which is what I think you were gasping at. But
yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, he's gonna build Nexus that's instantly gonna get killed, and then we're gonna lose 400 minerals at the 330 mark.
Well, the Force goes down. He has 4 Zealots. I feel like this build is very delayed. You saw Sziky even got his third hatchery. I mean, I'm almost positive about this. I'm ready to get flamed by all the Protoss and Zerg players in the chat, but I am almost positive that the correct play there is to just put down your Nexus on 20, cut probe Zealot, and put down the Forge, then make the third Zealot, or even make the third Zealot after the Nexus. But this was pretty delayed. Luckily for Dragon, though, Sziky had kind of like a huge micro misstep there and lost a lot of his links for free when the Nexus went down. So that definitely alleviated a lot of the pressure. And now with 4 Zealots, I'm actually surprised. Well, you know, it's hard for Dragon to move out with all his Zealots because there's no cannons, and he actually has no cannons still. The Probe Scout does confirm that this is a lair follow-up. So again, this is one thing like about Sziky's playstyle, where if you're overly defensive like that, if you're overly like kind of tech and economy oriented, you kind of get into these weird spots where, look, there's Zealots out on to your side of the map and you don't have any response to them, but speed does finish, links do pop, so he's gonna be fine in dealing with this, but sometimes it just feels a bit unstable.
Well, 2 Zealots get into that sweet spot behind the mineral line. Meanwhile, is that 3 Zealots also moving out? Okay, yeah. But one gets isolated from the other, and he's going to lose one of the Zealots instantly, and now he's going to lose the other 2 Zealots. Meanwhile, Dragon didn't even use his Zealots at the top, so he didn't even make it crazy, like try and micro 2 different battles.
What? Dude, he just moved out with those Zealots as well. That was so incredibly greedy. I mean, he just saw a bunch of Lings kill 3 Zealots, and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to move out. This definitely isn't a Ling flood, so I don't know if he's playing the player. The reality is, the 2 Zealots that are at that third base did see a lot of the Lings there. What the? What? Dude, Zealots have crazy range. And then he donated another 2 Zealots, so 5 Zealots down. for absolutely no compensation whatsoever. Behind this, Protoss has no second gate, still going into that Stargate. So there's no, you know, the thing about these early game Zealots, even if Protoss doesn't get instantly punished, like, you know, counter all in or whatever, if you bleed off this many Zealots, the thing is, first of all, making a lot of Zealots obviously delays your build. It delays your tech, it delays your production buildings. But also, if you end up losing those Zealots, then all of a sudden, once you get that leg speed, and Citadel of Adun only now going down, by the way, if you don't get that once you get that leg speed, you have no Zealots to pressure with. So this, honestly, I can't see Sziky losing this game. This was such a terrible opener for Protoss.
Yeah, Dragon seems to be in a really, really rough situation. The Sare's going to come out, and I think Scourge are even going to pop out by the time he gets there. So this Sare might just go poof instantly. You can see that eggs are being morphed. Is that 4th and 5th hatch? I think it is for Sziky. Meanwhile, Hydrogen also going up for him. Oh, okay, that's an evolution chamber. So he's going to have +1 coming out at a relatively nice timing, and that's what I was talking about. Sare is... Oh, look at the jukes. He's got some moves.
Yeah. He's
but the Scourge are faster somehow. And how does that happen? How are the Scourge faster?
They just are, man. They're like slightly faster. I mean, the thing, they're like what? Isn't it like 5 units faster or something? Like something very marginal. I don't know.
Something. It is very, very small difference between a Sare and a Scourge, but it looked like it caught up very quickly. Oh, look at this! He uses the Lings to draw the cannon fire. He almost got that Sare too. That would have been heartbreaking for Dragon to lose 2 Sares to 4 Scourge. And you know, versus someone like Sziky who loves to build muta lists, you're gonna have to constantly keep building up that Sare count. But it doesn't seem like Ziky's building mutas.
I mean, look at the problem here. Is that Dragon is still on 1 gate, right? Is that it's 1 gate?
Yeah,
no, 2 gate. There's a second gate in the natural. But Zerg's already on 6 hatch.
2 gate in a dream.
Well, I mean, almost 6 hatch.
You're not a believer?
And we don't even have 6 Corsairs.
We got 6 Zealots, though. We got 6 Zealots. They're going to have +1. Let's go!
Dude, he has to keep making cannons, too, to respect the possibility of Muta Scourge that we saw Sziky go for in the previous games. Again, like, imagine if those earlier Zealots in this situation were still alive. He could have had a control group of Zealots, which wouldn't have been a joke, but...
He doesn't even have speed.
Yeah.
Well, I think your assessment that this game is over is most likely right, because these Zealots are all going to die. He's built a lot of Sares now for an incoming Muta attack that's never coming. He's going to lose all of his Zealots, and I think he only had 2 cannons at his natural. So he's going to have to build 1,000,000 cannons there, and that's going to delay his gateway count even longer.
Yeah, it's just disastrous. I mean, it's really, really bad for Protoss.
He doesn't have Templars out either.
Exactly. Like he still only has the 2 gates, right?
Well, speed kicks in now, but as you mentioned, there's only 2 gates, which means we also don't have that many Zealots. DT's going to move out. Might save the day for now, because I don't see... Oh, never mind. Overlord's already here. Goodbye, DT, maybe? He is going to escape. Maybe? Maybe? No! My gosh.
Well, who cares? That's so many Zerg units coming down here. No Templars out. Well, he does have 4 gates, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to cut it either. And more cannons going down. Yeah, just...
That's an Artosis pylon too, so if he focuses that, it's just doomsday for him.
Yeah, dude. Pylons are just so tanky and brutal compared to StarCraft 2.
Oh, here he goes. He's focusing the cannons. The Templars morphed out, but they don't have Storm Avail. They don't have the energy, and this is going to be game 3 going over to Sziky. Even if Dragon doesn't outright die here, the economic losses is way too high. The DT has done no damage. The Sares have done no damage, and that's going to be it. Dragon taps out.